Well, one thing is for sure, Coach Darren Sammy has been very busy over the last few days talking about his players as they get ready to take on Australia. Gonna be taking a look at Sammy's latest interview. We see where he was talking about players averaging 35 seeming undroppable. Just goes to show how poor our system is. He also identified Alec Arthanis and Kevin Hodge by name, saying that people calling for them will probably do them a disservice because we cannot glorify a 25 average in Test cricket. Gonna give you all the details surrounding that. Plus, we'll take a look at the players that were awarded by CWI, talking about Test Player of the Year, T20 Player of the Year, ODI Player of the Year, etc. So just give a listening ear until the end and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So let's get straight into Sammy's interview here. So I'm taking this from the Wisden website. The headline says, West Indies head coach, players averaging 35 seeming undroppable, shows how poor our system is. Right? One thing I will say, my people, I agree that, if you have an average of 35 as a specialist batsman and it seems as if you cannot be dropped, it just shows that, the system isn't as strong as you would like. But I will also go on to say that if we had a few players averaging 35 right now, we would be giving a better, account of ourselves out there. You understand? I think Craig Brathwaite is the only one who has played a good amount of Test cricket that is averaging in the mid-30s, right? Quite a few 20s and things like that. So let me go down into this little interview here. As a matter of fact, let me just go straight to Sammy's, the quotations from Sammy. So this is Sammy now, and I quote, I had the analysts dive into the top 3 teams in the world and the different batting positions, what the best of the top 3 are doing in those different positions, the roles they are playing, and then we compared them to ours and what we are doing. End quote. So that is Darren Sammy there, my people. He went on to say, during that last Test World Championship cycle, Kevin Hodge, I think, scored 500 runs at an average of 25. As Dominicans, we want our players to perform well, but we must not get emotional. End quote for now. I don't know how many people saw this post that is being circulated on social media where, Hodge and Alec Arthanis, they are getting the support of the Dominicans. They are getting support from the hierarchy there in Dominica. You understand? A very long message was posted and, people were saying that they are just taking a step off of these guys because, the usual argument because of, their small islands and things. So apparently Sammy is now saying, listen, we cannot glorify people averaging 25. So let's get down into it now. If this is Sammy again, and I quote, if you notice, these guys just played in the A-team series, so they are not being discarded. Just that at this moment, the direction that the team is going, the roles that we see from the data collected that is required to play, they just don't fit that role at the moment. However, it is not the end of the road for them, end quote. So it is clear to see now, my people, it's mostly about roles, right? So for those who have been questioning why players that would have performed in the championship, why they are not getting the opportunity, it's because they don't fit the roles that Sammy and his team, that they have identified. So this is Sammy again, and I quote, I think we're doing Hodge and Alec a disservice by glorifying an average of 25 in Test cricket. Thinking that myself and Miles Bascom, West Indies director of cricket, right? We know that, have some personal vendetta against any player. End quote for now. And Sammy is saying this because of the statement that I said was posted earlier. You can go on Facebook, all over it, right? It's all over the place. Now, one thing Coach Sammy, will have to understand is that people will look at it and they will say, listen, this guy clearly outscored the most runs here, or he clearly did this, that player didn't do that. So if you are doing a system that fits players that aren't performing, why can't you try and find a way to fit people that are probably not performing to the level that we would expect, but they are performing more than some of the players that are in the team, right? This is not me trying to cause any fuss or any problem, because we are just a couple of days away from the first test, right? But this is just me taking a look at what's happening, what the coach said, right? So Sammy goes on to say, and I quote, we are trying to create an environment that breeds success, breeds excellence, and we need to keep on challenging. And it shows where our cricket is right now. When players are averaging below 35, seem undroppable in our system. And that shows how poor our system is. For us to be really talking about a 25 average, that will not bring us success. You hear that? For us to be talking about a 25 average, that will not bring us success. End quote for now. So Sammy is saying, based on the last World Test Championship cycle, these players would have averaged the 25, and, that's not going to bring us success. What fans of these players might try to point out to coach is that, a few of those games were away in challenging conditions, so probably, the players would expect to get another look in. But this is just me sharing what Coach Darren Sammy is saying, my people. Right. We're going to take a look at some more things here. Let's take a look at some of the averages here. So the first class batting average is for batters and all-rounders in the West Indies squad that will go up against Australia. Right. We see Kevlin Anderson with 44.44. Right. Craig Brathwaite 37.99. John Campbell 31.38. Casey Carty 27.42. Brandon King 34.53, Mikel Lewis 34.66, Shea Hope 34.95, Tevin Imlach 35.84, Ruston Chase 34.4, Justin Greaves 29.67. And remember, this is these are the first class averages that we're talking about. So what Sammy and his team, what they have done is to identify players with would appear as if their average are, they are above 26, all of them, right? The lowest would be the 27.42, which is Casey Carty. So, Sammy and his team, they are going for people averaging in the 30s, and Anderson, he has 44. Right, so that is what they are saying, my viewers and subscribers. Now, just to give you a quick reminder here, they say West Indies batters with the highest test average since 2020. Right, West Indies batters with the highest average since 2020. Enku Mabana in 15 matches, 38.23. We don't know where he is. Craig Brathwaite in 39 games, 32.95. Tej Naran Chandopal in 10 games, 32.94. Kyle Mayers in 18 games, 32.72. Jermaine Blackwood in 28 games, 30.11. Anderson Phillip in 2 games, 26.5. Jason Hola in 29 games, 26.11. Right, so that is the method behind what Darren Sammy and his people are doing. Right, they have looked at the averages since 2020, and they have decided not to go with anyone averaging down in the 20s, right? Based on what's happening here. So yeah, that is how they are doing it, my people. Just before we go, let me just give a quick shout out to the players that have been awarded. We might have not had the strongest year that, but at the same time, players were still awarded. So let me just spend the time to give them a little shout out. All right, so we have Test Player of the Year. That's Shamar Joseph, and we're talking about 2023 to 2024, right? They have the Weeper Awards going on, so I just decided to highlight it a little bit, right? So Shamar Joseph, Test Player of the Year. ODI Player of the Year, we have Shea Hope, the captain. Women's ODI Player of the Year, that's Hayley Matthews. T20 Player of the Year, that's Mr. Alzari Joseph. Women's T20 Player of the Year, Hayley Matthews, of course. Regional Super 50 Player of the Year for 2024, that's Justin Graves. Shout out to him. Women's Super 50 Player of the Year, that's Kaisia Knight. Shout out to her. And who else we have? Yeah, I think that's basically it. There's another one. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Oh, I think I'm missing Mikel Louis, Regional Championship Player of the Year for 23-24. So congratulations to all the players. I don't know if they have any more awards coming, but that's what I have for right now. So shout out. Don't know if I had Shamar Joseph. Don't remember if I had indicated Shamar Joseph, the men's test player of the year. I think he was the first one that I called. But yeah, shout out to all the players, my people. Gonna leave this one right here for now. Big up on yourself. Stay safe.